Straight ahead, as COVID-19 cases continue to decline, Americans return to annual celebrations. What this means for case numbers. Next, lawmakers are going back and forth as some are considering making a no-fly list for unruly passengers. Plus, after weeks of protest against COVID-19 restrictions in Canada, police are taking action. News 3 Nightwatch starts right now.
On your side, this is News 3 Nightwatch.
Good evening and thank you for joining us here on News 3 Evening Edition. I'm Kenzie Beach filling in for Sacra Gray. COVID cases are in a steep decline across the country, and as the death rate is down as well, the U.S. is close to losing about 2,000 people a day. Lilia Luciano is in Los Angeles with the latest.
Wall-to-wall crowds in New Orleans this weekend, all celebrating the return of Mardi Gras after COVID canceled festivities last year.
Good time to be out with family and to enjoy it without COVID. No masks, freedom.
America's new optimism is fueled by the sharp drop in cases and hospitalizations. Yet 95% of Americans still live in a high-risk area for infection.
I feel like it's going to be around no matter what.
That live with it sentiment now echoed by the governors of California and Utah. They're shifting their response from a pandemic to endemic.
Let me be clear that this is not the end of COVID, but it is the beginning of treating COVID as we do other seasonal respiratory viruses.
The CDC still recommends universal masking, yet every state but Hawaii has ended or is planning to lift mask mandates. That drastic drop in cases is motivating Americans to dine out, travel, and hit theme parks once again. California lifted its indoor mask mandate last week, but here in LA County, you can only take off your mask if you're outdoors. The indoor requirement will remain in place for several weeks. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The Federal Aviation Association released new numbers this week, revealing nearly 6,000 reports of unruly passengers in 2021, a majority of them resulting from disputes over masks. It's the reason some airlines and unions are asking the Justice Department to create a federal no-fly list. While advocates argue it could help prevent violent and hateful behavior from travelers, others say the effort goes too far. This week, a group of lawmakers sent a letter to the Attorney General saying it's wrong to equate people resisting mask mandates to terrorists. They point out airlines already have the power to ban customers on their own.
The no-fly list is really designed to keep terrorists off of airplanes, not unruly Americans.
Anything that takes my attention away from the aircraft, no matter what phase of flight, is immediately putting everyone at risk.
Captain Tager says he doesn't know if a federal list is the answer, but addressing the bad behavior is essential for safer skies. Don't miss out on any breaking news or any of the big stories of the day. Download our app and make sure to turn on your push alerts. We're keeping an eye on a number of big stories tonight down in Florida. 2 people are hurt after a helicopter crash near Miami Beach today. The crash happened at 1:20 this afternoon, and video was released by the Miami Beach Police Department, which showed the aircraft losing altitude and splashing down near the shore. Authorities said that there were 3 people on board. 2 of the passengers were transported to the hospital. Miami Beach police say that they are in stable condition and no other injuries have been reported. Our eye on the world takes us over to Canada, where hundreds of police in riot gear have swept through the streets to clear a 3-week protest against the country's COVID-19 restrictions. Around 170 people have been arrested. Police continue to drive out demonstrations by towing away their trucks. Multiple investigations have been launched because of weapons seizures. We want to thank you for trusting WRBL News 3 as your favorite source for local news on the weekend. Coming up, tensions in Russia and Ukraine spike as Putin carries out massive nuclear force drills. What the U.S. Vice President has to say. But first, Cody has a look at your weather. Cody, what can we expect?
All right, well, expect some cold conditions tonight. So if you head out late tonight or early in the morning, you're going to need to bundle up. Those temperatures are going to be in the 30s, but a mixed bag of temperatures right now. We're in the 30s, 40s, and also some 50s out across the region. But stay connected with the First Alert Weather Team by downloading the WRBL Radar app, where you can always have the latest forecast and get ahead of any severe weather.
on your side. You're watching WRBL News 3 Night Watch.
Amid rising tensions on the Russia-Ukraine border, Vice President Kamala Harris spoke at the Munich Security Conference, sending a firm warning. She says there will be serious consequences if Russian President Vladimir Putin chooses to invade Ukraine. Raquel Martin has the story.
The United States stands with Ukraine.
Saturday, in a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Vice President Kamala Harris said NATO allies are prepared to respond if Russia abandons diplomatic negotiations and invades Ukraine.
We will impose swift and severe economic sanctions.
Russia has continued to gather more than 150,000 troops along its border with Ukraine. President Zelensky said he hopes Russia de-escalates.
The only thing we want is to have peace, bring the peace back to our country.
Earlier in the day, at the Munich Security Conference, Vice President Harris underscored the threat an invasion poses on the rest of the world.
The foundation of European security is under direct threat.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also met with the leaders of 3 Baltic states Saturday.
The United States of America stands with our allies.
While the U.S. is vowing to keep troops out of Ukraine, he says the U.S. will protect neighboring NATO nations, increasingly concerned they could be next on Putin's list.
It's directly threatening to the whole region. Therefore, we have to be very, very serious, not just about the deterrence, but also about the possibility of defense.
Austin says the Pentagon is positioning more U.S. forces to help protect the Baltic states.
And we have thousands on call, ready to deploy if NATO activates its response forces.
In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Thank you again for trusting News 3.